Prepare for more Acme, as AK and Marc Eversley have both signed new extensions with the Chicago Bulls. What does that mean for the future of the Bulls? Talk a little bit about that. Plus, the Bulls have been mentioned in discussions to trade up for Ace Bailey if he falls past number 3. We're going to talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, also creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central, YouTube pages, and podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Pat! Late. It wasn't too late, actually. It was just unexpected. The timing of it was unexpected. It's like, why are you releasing this at 8 p.m.? But according to Drew Stevens from It's the Bigs, and he works for CHSN, it's been reported to them that AK and Marc Eversley have both signed new contract extensions with the Chicago Bulls. This should have been expected. Very rarely is a front office going to extend a head coach without them also being extended. Yeah. That's what happened the last time this happened. People were made a lot about Billy Donovan getting a secret extension. We didn't even know AK and them got a secret extension at that point in time. At least at this point, it's been released a little bit. No details as far as the years or anything. I don't expect that. Let's just be happy that we actually know they got extended. How do you feel about AK and Eversley? I would say probably safe 2-3 more years of AK and Eversley.
I mean, listen, first off, shout out to the great name, but I got to put this comment up because this is facts. In a world where nothing can be certain except death and taxes, apparently Acme and Billy running the Chicago Bulls is right up in it.
Listen, I said it on my show. Arturas, Karnisovas, Marc Eversley, and Billy Donovan. That's the Chicago Bulls' big 3 right now. If you ask Jerry Rogers, that's the big 3. That's the big 3 that we got. That's the real big 3 here. So,
God, that's the problem. No, man, listen, I'm not surprised by it. I mean, I don't even know if it upsets me at this point. Like I am at apathy levels. It's an expectation of mediocrity from this team at this point until you prove otherwise. I get it. I love the second half of the season last year as well. I thought it was fun. We've been fooled by second half basketball before, have we not? We've seen second half basketball not pan out. So it's the wait and see approach. And that's going to keep Acme and Billy Donovan in Chicago for the foreseeable future. I've told y'all my thoughts on the plan that I think the Bulls have in place of moving Billy into the front office once this thing finally starts to work, or if it ever starts to work. But the one thing about this that I will say is, I guess you've got stability as you feel like you may have something brewing here with the Giddy and Modest connection. So I guess there's that.
Here's the thing that I look at this with, and it was very simple to me. Not to say that I 100% agree with it, but you let them start a retooling. They've cleared the deck as far as they don't have any bad salaries as far as that are limiting their flexibility financially. They do have a bad contract. Patrick Williams is a bad contract. I want to be clear there, but it's not something that they don't have any flexibility because of. They actually have tremendous flexibility going forward. They got all their draft picks back. So we got draft picks in each year. Now we got all the first round picks back, and they've started retooling the roster to be younger, more dynamic, in a more modern style. And I look at that and say the ownership probably looked at it and said, okay, bet you got 3 more years to see now this version through of what you're gonna get to, and we'll see where you are at the end of that, and we'll evaluate again. And I understand that from a business standpoint. The last thing you want to do is bring in somebody new in the middle of a process of reshaping a team, and then that new vision comes in and they're like, hey, no, none of this I want. So now we need to clear the deck again, which may lead you to having to trade picks to clear some people. So I think at that point, you're just allowing them to see whatever this next version of this team that they want to build is through, and see where they are at the end of that contract. And at the end of it could be even darker. I know you said AK can move Billy eventually into the front office. He's Jerry's guy now. What if Billy Donovan is the new president of basketball operations after AK leaves? That's a completely different thought process.
I wouldn't be mad at that because, like, I feel like Billy's been in college. He knows how to identify college talent. He's a Hall of Famer because of his time in college. Like, yeah, I'd rather have Billy than freaking AK.
Listen, that's why when people were like, why would you want Billy Donovan as a GM? What has he done as a coach? It's like his skill set as a GM. GMs are usually head of the scouting department. I would trust Billy Donovan to scout. Like, if you said, Billy Donovan, 4 months out the year, just go around, scout people, travel and scout, I would trust Billy Donovan, no problem for that at all.
I mean, you got to think, Billy Donovan was in a room that everybody, and I know people think it's just a GM up there making dictatorship decisions. No, they involve the head coach. He was in a room where everybody sat down and they were like, we want to get rid of Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
Paul George wants to leave. And they were like, would you like this young kid that doesn't get enough minutes but seems like he's pretty good? That young kid was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yep.
Billy can probably identify talent here.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, when you look at the modest draft, when you look at Ayo Dosunmu late in the draft, when you look at like these pieces that the Bulls have brought in that there's an excitement about, maybe he's a little, maybe a little bamboozled on the Patrick Williams thing. I would assume he was in the room for that as well. But again, nobody looked at Devin Vassell. He was right there. He was there.
Bro, I told you my conspiracy theory on that. I believe AK just brought his draft because he came over 30 days before the draft. He went off their scouting that they had for the Denver Nuggets. I fully believe that they thought Patrick Williams was going to be lower in the draft. He was like, I bet it would be a perfect pick for the Nuggets, who are a playoff team. And when he took over the Bulls, it was like, the 4th pick, we're still going to take Patrick Williams. That's what I believe happened.
I can see it. I can see it. But I think for me, like in the long run of this, is something we won't have to worry about in a long time.
Yeah.
AK's here. Acme's here. Marc Eversley apparently will speak to us for the 2nd time ever. I don't know if he's been taking some speech classes or what's going on there, but
what if he comes out and he's just like what's the name of that movie? The Emperor's Words? What is it? King's Speech? Where the dude had a speech impediment and the whole movie was teaching him to get ready for a speech and he ended up coming out there and killing it. That's what it's been for Marc Eversley for 2 years.
For 2 years, he finally figured it out.
They got him with his
I
with
think
his
AK's just like, y'all not finna set me up for failure again. AK's like, I got nothing new to say. They don't want to hear me. I got absolutely nothing new to speak about. Marc Eversley finna come out there.
Remember when Paxson did that with Gar and then it lasted for like 18 months and Pax was like, dang it, I gotta go start talking again.
Yeah. Because Gar was just coming out there saying stuff.
No, Gar was like, so yeah, we like Paul Zipser. That should have been the end of it. Who we're high on. Oh, Paul Zipser.
Paul Zipser, who we're high on.
Yeah, don't talk anymore. Don't talk anymore. But
what's Paul doing? Paul's like 30. Paul's incredible.
First of all, Paul Zipser was the first Grayson Allen. If you think about it, the just blank face white guy with no expression, that was Paul Zipser.
Paul Zipser is 31 years old right now, playing in Germany.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, bro. No, I don't know. No, Paul not aging that bad. Grayson Allen look bad. Grayson Allen looks 65.
Grace. I mean, yeah, but that's the thing between toxic people and non-toxic people. Paul Zipser wasn't toxic; he was just bad. Grayson Allen is a toxic person. They age badly when you.
Grayson Allen looked like he prepares for the game.
Like 24. How old is Grayson
Allen? Like 26 years old, bro.
Bro, that's crazy, bro.
He might be a little bit older. It's been a little while. Let's see. Where's Grayson at? Grayson
29.
Allen.
He's 29 now.
He's 29. All right. He still shouldn't look, bro. He still shouldn't look this old, bro.
No, Grayson Allen is old, bro.
Grayson Allen looked like he prepared for games by listening to "I Keep Forgetting Not in Love Anymore."
That's crazy. To get back focus here. All right. Oh, what? That's crazy. Bro. Anyway.
He's 29, bro.
That at 29 is crazy.
Him and my grandfather fought in a war together, bro. There's no way, dog. There's no way this man is.
Are you saying Grayson Allen took the super soldier serum? Is that what he is? That's why he's aged?
No, because Captain America didn't age for a long time.
That's correct. That's absolutely true. That's crazy. That's funny. So back on track here. Lastly, like, do you think that with locking in with AK and the new path they've seen, do you see them getting better results out of this next phase than they got in the last phase?
I mean, listen, it sounds like the last phase was really thrown off by the Lonzo injury, which is why they've doubled and tripled and quadrupled and gave him $10 million and quintupled down on re-signing Lonzo and keeping him around here. Can Giddy be Lonzo? I know he can't be him on the defensive end. But
I think you're looking for a completely different set of skill set from Josh Giddy, but from than you were from Lonzo at that time.
Scoring, facilitating. But he won't be the defender by far that Lonzo is. But can he be the one that's running the offense? Can he be the one that's getting you on a fast break? Can he be the one to? I mean, listen, what we saw last season in the second half, can that be real? Is that really who Josh Giddy is? Is who he is when he's playing with Australia? Is who he was when he had free reign to play in OKC? Can that be real here on the Chicago Bulls? And is that going to lead you to winning basketball? That's really the biggest thing on can AK be right? Somebody got to hit.
Yeah, I guess we shall see, Pat. But with that said, we are going to continue. Next up, we're going to be discussing the Bulls and rumors of them potentially trading up for Ace Bailey of all people. But first, we got to get into a message from Game Time. There's nothing like NBA playoffs. The intensity, the buzzer beaters, the fans losing their minds. It's the kind of atmosphere you must experience live. And this year's matchups are already delivering. If you want in, Game Time makes it fast and easy to get seats, even for the biggest playoff games. Prices on the app actually drop closer to tip-off with killer last-minute deals, panoramic seat views, and no surprise fees. Game Time is a total game changer. I love that you can see the exact view before you even buy your tickets, and the app makes it ridiculously simple. It's just 2 taps, and you're done. And with the Game Time guarantee, you know that you're getting the best deal. If you find a better price in the same row and section, they'll credit you 110% of the difference. You'll find great seats for as low as $100 thanks to exclusive discounts. And with the Game Time guarantee, your tickets are 100% authentic, will arrive on time, and you'll always get the best price with fees included. So what you see is what you pay. If you never use Game Time to grab NFL seats, now's the time. It's seriously a game day upgrade. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. All right, Pat. So this was going to be the lead topic today, but then the Bulls decided to extend AK and Eversley. So here we are. But it started to come out that the Bulls are one of a few teams that if Ace Bailey falls past number 3, that they will look to try to trade up to get Ace Bailey. Now, I can understand that. I look at it and say, what assets do the Bulls have that either the Charlotte Hornets or the Utah Jazz would want to where they'd be willing to move down all the way to 12 and you get Ace Bailey. But when you hear that the Bulls have identified, clearly have Ace Bailey high on their board that they're willing to give up assets, I think when you pair that in with some other things that's going around, I don't know if they're angling to use Coby in 12, maybe some future first as well in that. But what do you think about Ace Bailey being somebody that the Bulls are willing to give assets up to trade up and draft?
I can't wait for you to re-listen to this and hear that first assets. You didn't push that T out as quickly as possible. I was like,
that's fine. That's fine.
The Bulls are giving up what?
Because our assets are, donkey. So go ahead, keep going, Pat.
That was funny. But no. Here's what's tough about this, right? And I talked about this on the Bulls Breeze yesterday. You're giving up assets for someone who may be dropping in the draft because of attitude or mindset or
Pat, he hasn't worked out for a single team because he feels like he wants teams to make sure they're going to put him in the best situation to be a star. I get it, not working out for some teams. To not work out for a single team and say, oh no, you got to sell me. You're being drafted.
Here's what I will say. Does he look at Philly? Does he look at I mean, he's not going to Dallas. Does he look at Philly? Does he look at Charlotte and go, oh no?
I understand that.
That's not where I want to go. Which if you do, right, this could be a ploy to get you, because I've never heard anything about Ace Bailey being a bad teammate. I've never heard anything about Ace Bailey.
His character has been in concern literally since like 10 games into the season.
Yeah, I'm talking about teammate. I think his attitude is the problem. I think that he thinks I'm that dude.
Oh, you mean as far as like his teammates
I'm
like him? Okay, I got
work, because that's the part that matters to me. Yeah. Having the mindset of I'm that dude is fine to me. Guess what? Be that dude. You think Michael Jordan didn't know I'm Black Jesus? like, you think he didn't know what they called him?
Bro, one thing I did not expect to hear is a Black Jesus reference on this show. Thank you for that, Pat. I always love when you come with something I didn't expect.
But you think that LeBron James don't know when the going gets tough? They worried about me. Like, when you that dude, I can deal with that. My worry is, and I think a lot of times we take attitude and we attribute that to who this player is as a teammate. And like with Russell Westbrook, forever people are like, he's a cancer in the locker room. And it's like, he's not. Like, no teammate has ever said Russ is a bad teammate.
Yeah.
Everyone
they may say he does some stuff on the court where it's like, come on,
Yeah.
Russ. But as a teammate, I get the difference that you're
And
making
so
there.
to me, I think you have to differentiate whether the attitude issues are, hey, I think I'm that dude, I'm gonna be a top 3 draft pick, and that's what it's gonna be, or is this dude bad for the locker room? And in that situation, I think that's what weighs heaviest on if you trade up, because talent-wise, Ace Bailey is that dude. Ace Bailey's a dog. And he's got high ceiling, he's got high floor.
A 3-4 with Ace Bailey and Modest Buzell. Could you imagine the crap talking that's going? They may be
between each other.
Yeah. And you remember when who was it? It was Zach LaVine and Andrew Wiggins were on the same team, and they push each other to get creative dunk wise. You're gonna see that, but it's gonna be with everything. They're gonna be like, "Hey, you didn't stop him on that play. Bet I got you next one." Like, that would be crazy to see.
And I think that's the thing. And Shay brings up, I love that. Are you sure you want another Jimmy Butler on this team? Yes. Yes, I'm sure. Because we are entering an NBA where Jimmy Butlers are all around the league pushing their teams to be better. Except for Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know what's happening there. I don't know how he got here. But the mindset that Jimmy had, that's Ant. Those are the players that you want on your team. Yes. And I don't know when we got into this world of, I don't want a guy that's going to get upset when the team doesn't make winning moves. Jimmy Butler got upset with the Miami Heat because Pat Riley didn't make moves that were going to help him win, and in fact, wouldn't get deals done that were going to help the team win. Dame Lillard does a heck of a lot more in Miami than he does in Milwaukee. Because there's more than just Giannis running around. But we don't want to make that move. For some reason, a winning mindset has gotten to the point where that's not what people want, or pushing my team to win is not what people want. And to me, I
do think with Jimmy, though, it was a little bit of him separating himself from the team too, which especially in like with the 76ers, the end of that. Like, the thing with Jimmy is like, he's good for a while there, and it does become this thing of like pushing your teammates, but then it's like once he's not getting his way, it does get toxic there. But listen, I would love to be able to get to that. Can we get to the point where winning matters so much to somebody that then is like, hey, you're trying to win, you're trying to win too much. Like, I would love to have that problem. We haven't had that problem in a long time.
I don't even know if we got people that's trying to win. like honestly. And so for me, when I look at the Ace Bailey situation, I have to have that answer. And I think, AK, you got to do your research and have that answer. I don't need him to work out. I know he can play basketball. He's a top 3 pick for a reason. He should be a top 3 pick. People are worried about his attitude because he wants to be great and he doesn't want to be.
All right, we're focusing a lot on the Ace Bailey attitude part, but let me ask you this. What do you think the Bulls would have to give up to get Ace Bailey? Because like right now, like the Charlotte Hornets, Utah Jazz, those are 2 teams right there below number 3 where Ace Bailey would fit in. The Utah Jazz are in perpetual rebuild until they feel like they get their superstar. I think that they would want as many picks as the Bulls can give back. Now, Charlotte may be willing to take a mix of deals and a player that they feel like is win now. I don't know if they feel like Coby White and LaMelo Ball can be a backcourt together, but what would you be willing to give up if it meant moving up to get Ace Bailey?
Here's what I think could be interesting. If Philly passes on, which is what the report is, if Philly passes on him, that's where the Bulls would want to trade up. So now you're talking about Charlotte. I don't think Charlotte wants LaMelo and Ace Bailey. I don't think any organization can deal with 2 of them together.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if Charlotte's in the conversation. I would wonder about the possibility of Utah being in that conversation. Danny Ainge gonna put up with that. Washington being in that conversation.
You're making the conversation if they take Ace Bailey. That's not the thing. You still got to trade up with them to get him, right? And
I'm saying worrying about a team that actually might draft him.
Yeah, but the thing is that you don't want to push that too far, because what if another team calls to trade up and get him? I think that's the thing that you also
could be too. But I think that's my point. Like, you may be talking to Washington, you may be talking to Utah in that scenario, which is less draft capital. But
so you're saying that you wouldn't try to trade up with Charlotte, and you would see their bluff if they take you, and then wait till the Washington's on the board.
Unless there's somebody that's jumping. Yeah. Like, if you get wind that, like, Portland's like, we got to have Ace Bailey. Okay, then you got to trade with who's available. But I think you're going to see that board maybe fall a little bit different if Ace Bailey gets there, because it's not just Phillies worried about the attitude issues.
No, and to your point, shout out to Matt Moore, Action Sports. He did report that if Ace Bailey does fall past 4, you could see what the NBA equivalent is to Shedeur Sanders' fall if that happens.
Which is not going to be the second round, guys. Relax.
Yeah, it's not going to be. That's why I said the NBA equivalent.
In
the NBA, falling from supposed to be a top 3 to number 8 is basically the equivalent to that. So,
I don't know, dog. Shedeur fell a long way.
Yeah,
bro. Shedeur fell to the 5th round, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
I just mean that you can see
quite a bit of fall for him, considering what the pre-draft conversation around.
Yes. So because of that, again, listen to the streets. But I would love to. I would think you're talking about a first round pick this year, probably a first round pick next year, and maybe maybe somebody on the team, a player on the team. Like, I don't even know if it would cost that. Like, maybe a Io or a Coby White or something. I don't even know if it would cost that, though, if we're being honest. It might just be draft capital. A couple of first and maybe some seconds thrown in there.
Willing to give up the pick next year in 2027, which is a deep draft, to get Ace Bailey? Would you be willing to give up 12 in the 27th first round pick to get Ace Bailey in this draft?
If you don't have concerns on him as a teammate and him coming in the building and working, yeah. Ace Bailey's that talented.
All right.
So we'll see what ends up happening, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us as always. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on would you be willing to move up and go after Ace Bailey. If not, Cedric Coward may be right there for you at 12. Bro, I'm going to tell you this right now, bro. If Cedric Coward's there at 12,
bro,
and AK do some silly, y'all are going to feel my wrath. Hey, man, we got to tell you guys all about Olipop as we get into what are the Bulls' plans, AK. But first, we got to tell you all about Olipop, man. It is a new kind of soda made for people who love the classic taste of soda but want something that supports their health with just 2 to 5 grams of sugar and 9 grams of prebiotic fiber. Ladies and gentlemen, I learned what that word meant in the biggest way. 9 grams of prebiotic fiber in every can. Olipop is reimagining soda in a way that is better for your gut. Traditional sodas are loaded with sugar. Y'all ever see that thing where it's like the how much sugar is in a Coca-Cola can? It's 44 grams of or 39 grams, I should say, of sugar in a Coca-Cola can. 44 grams of sugar, and it's just like a pile of sugar on the thing. Olipop is flipping the script with just a fraction of the sugar, no artificial sweetener, gut-friendly ingredients like Oli Smart, a blend shown to support digestive and overall health. It's soda that tastes like the real thing, but actually does something good for your body. And listen, there's a bunch of flavors that you can try from. What flavor are you trying first? Cherry Cola, Classic Grape, or maybe Dr. Goodwin? I don't know who that is. Their Dr. Pepper dupe. Dupe? How does it feel cracking open a can of soda that actually supports your gut health? Find out free with Olipop. Get a free can of Olipop. Just buy any 2 cans in store and they'll reimburse you for 1. Head to drinkolipop.com/LockedOnNBA to claim your free can and find Olipop near you. That's drinkolipop.com/LockedOnNBA or Locked On Bulls coming up next.
Man, the Olipop ad read is long, bro.
Olipop a little bit long, but I'll tell you what. Learned what a prebiotic, man. I knocked down like 3 cans cutting the grass, bro. I thought it was soda. I didn't know what a prebiotic. I thought it was just healthy soda. Hey, you know what I mean? Tastes good. I was knocking down them strawberries.
It's like mid edging the yard. Like, what's that?
Something was edging.
What's that feeling?
There was something edging. Yeah. We all been out there. You cutting the grass. You trying to let one loose. Yeah,
All right. Oh, with that said, Pat, that's crazy. The Bulls' names have been in a lot between potentially trading Coby White, moving up, moving back in the draft, trading up to get Ace Bailey. There's all types of stuff. Like, do you see like the outline of kind of what the Bulls are trying to do this offseason? Or do you think it's more so they're trying to make something happen? They don't know exactly what. They're trying to be in the mix of a little bit of everything. And is that even a bad thing if they are trying to just be in the mix of everything?
I mean, listen, don't confuse activity with accomplishment. That's my thing.
X.
That's what the White Sox do. Yeah, we were in on Manny Machado. No, you weren't. You know what I mean? Like, we were in on we were in on Mike Trout. No, you weren't. You were never in. You threw a terrible contract out there. And that's what happened. And they didn't accept it. So technically you were in. Don't I like the fact that they are in these conversations, but if you're in these conversations, how about we get something done? Were we actually in conversations with Orlando? Were we actually in conversations with Memphis?
Bro, I need us to be able to, never mind.
Were we actually in, I know. Were we actually in conversations with, all these moves that could have been made with New York? Okay, you were, but you didn't pull the trigger on them. You know what I mean? So those are the moments where you kind of, you look at AK and say, yeah, you can be in all these conversations, but are you actually getting something done?
Exactly.
The expectation is that we're drafting 12th. We're going to draft 12th, and we're going to take Yusuf Slovakovic from Russia, and he's going to be our starting center that's in the G League for the next 12 years.
That's more with second round picks, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean, we typically draft players with that are known. I mean, David Terry's probably
it was a soundboard sound effect, guys. I'm seeing the chat thinking that it really happened.
That shows what people think of you. You think Pat's just on here just cutting them.
Just let it rip,
just on demand. On demand. That's crazy, bro. For it to make it to the mic, that's crazy.
Cheek too.
That's crazy, bro. But no, I do think that when you have the amount of expiring contracts the Bulls have, we talked about it, the $61-ish million in expiring contracts. When you have the flexibility of first round picks, when you have flexibility of money, they're going to have about $18 to $19 million in cap space after the draft pick, after signing Josh Giddy. You should be involved in how you can use a combination of those things. You also have a $17 million trade exception. Yeah. You should be in the mix to see how you can use those things to either better your team or to get something done. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean that like they're aggressively going into those things, but I do like that it seems like the Bulls are out there seeing where they can fit in the mix, like to be the third team in a KD trade, to take on some bad salary in another deal like that. Like these are things that the Bulls have missed opportunities on and have not gotten assets to do that, right? So I love hearing that they're doing that, but I do have that concern in the back of my mind of like, okay, but what's your barrier of entry? Because like, is KD like, no, we can't do that because it's a good deal, but it's not a great deal. It's like, okay, but make a good deal. Like everything doesn't have to be a home run. For AK, they need a couple of singles. They need a couple of doubles. They need to get on base.
You need a couple of bunt errors. Like,
let's get that first.
And maybe that's what Modest is, right? Maybe Modest is a single. Maybe Giddy is a single at this point, right? Like but you got to get those guys in.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I get what you mean.
You get where I went there.
It wasn't that much of a pause in context, but on the playback, it's going to sound crazy.
It's going to sound nuts on the playback. Yeah. You got to get those guys to score the run, right? Like that's the goal of the game. It's not just to hit singles. So to me, with where the Bulls are at right now, yes, you're in all of these conversations, but literally every one of these have turned into pop-ups.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball for a first-round pick that could be an extra pick in this draft, which you could use to move up in the draft to go get Ace Bailey if you wanted to.
Pat's going to get that in every episode.
Every single episode until he's off of this team. You paid him. Hilarious. Not only did you give up the pick, you paid him. Anyway, but like those are the moments where it's like it compounds. And that's why, to me, I still don't think the Bulls have a plan. I don't think the Bulls have a direction because we want to build through the draft. No, you don't. You don't want draft picks. How often we been talking about that? Oh, we want to build with young players that we have on the team. No, you don't, because you talk about trading them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a plan, and that to me is where the activity can get confused with accomplishment. I need to see accomplishment this offseason.
Yeah. We shall see what happens there, my brother. We shall see what happens. Anything left before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. I need y'all to actually go ahead and hit that like button, man. We got 157 people in here at 8:45 in the morning. Shout out to y'all for being the best fans in the world, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Lonzo Ball making $2 million.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available in every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Fubo TV. Anywhere you want us, you can get it. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
You can get it.
Nick must have told you got to say Fubo. You was rocking with Fubu for a minute.